What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Summer Career Mode. This is episode number 31. We're starting today's episode off with the draw for the Europa League last 16. Topping our group ahead of Marseille, who finished runners-up after 5 wins in 6. Meant we bypassed the preliminary round and went straight into the last 16. And in our first ever knockout tie in European football, Crystal Palace have been drawn against. Oh, it's one of the toughest we could have got. And there are some big clubs there. You know, you got Inter, you got Roma. I mean, there's several big clubs there. I'll be here all day if I was listing all those clubs. But it is one of the bigger ones. The Dutch champions. Champions League semi-finalists a few years ago from Amsterdam at the Johan Cruyff Arena. Ajax. Yes, Ajax. The producers of so many young Dutch wonder kids. Ajax in the Europa League last 16 at Amsterdam and Selhurst Park. What a tie to be drawn in there. And I've got to say, you look at some of those teams there, and I said a moment ago, you know, those are some big clubs. Again, you had the two big Italian sides, you know, obviously Jose Mourinho's Roma, who, by the way, are looking to do some spectacular business in this summer window. You've got, they of course won the Europa Conference League last year. You've got Inter Milan, the Serie A champions as well. I don't know if in the last 16 you can be drawn against an English club. If you could, we could have had Ten Hag's Manchester United, Real Sociedad are in there. I think Wolfsburg are in there too. There's a lot of big clubs, so don't get me wrong, it's not a surprise being drawn against one of them in AFC Ajax, but that is one of the toughest we could have got. Ajax, a few years ago, into the Champions League semi-finals, had an absolutely amazing run, only to be knocked out by Mauricio Pochettino's Spurs on their way to finish runners-up to Liverpool. It's a very, very tough tie. You'll see both legs in today's episode, and again, because of the young talent they've got, and the star talent too, Martinez is still there, Anthony is still there. Yeah, it's an amazing team. So when I saw that tie draw, I was like, okay, alright, I won't call us underdogs, but it's going to be very even indeed. Anyway, first game of today's episode on the back of the win against Watford, taking on the Gunners here at the Emirates Stadium. Eze opened our scoring. Ramsdale really should have saved it in my opinion, but Thomas levelled it for the Gunners right before the break. 18 minutes to go. We're still tied at 1-1. The Gunners looking for a goal to get in front in this game. Right now chasing the title, of course, the league leaders were at the Emirates Stadium. Both teams needing the points for different reasons. Us to stay in the top 4, the Gunners to stronghold their lead at the top of the table right now. 15 minutes to go though. Dean Henderson made a cracking double save to keep it at 1-1, and in stoppage time, one final chance here. Zaniolo on the ball down the right hand side, gets around Tyrick Mitchell with a reverse step over. Holds off Mitchell, wins it back, but the clearance isn't the best. But thankfully, when you talk about bravery, Mateta goes up for a very risky aerial duel, wins it, but at what cost? Yep, goes down, stays down. That was basically the final passage of players. Gueye heads it back to Henderson, and that's how it would finish. He earned us a point with a brave header, 1-1 the final score, and we'll take it. Yeah, 1-1 draw at the Emirates. I'll have that against the league leaders there. Didn't play especially well. Henderson had to bail me out a couple of times. I'll take the point against the league leaders. And by the way, have you guys seen the first episodes of the All or Nothing documentary of Arsenal? On Thursday, it was released on Amazon Prime. I'm not gonna lie. I watched all 3 episodes. I binge watched all 3 episodes back to back. Brilliant, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Because I'll be honest, I never saw Sunderland Till I Die. I never saw it. I never had Amazon Prime before. And right now, I'm not ashamed to say this, I'm using a free trial. I'm using a free trial of Amazon Prime, and I'll cancel it when it runs out. I think it's on the 20th of August it runs out for me, so I'll cancel it. I hope I'll be able to get to watch all I think it's 8 of the episodes before my trial runs out. If not, I'll have to see if I can borrow one of my friend's subscriptions. But I'm on a free trial of Amazon Prime right now, so on Thursday, I knew the documentary was coming out. I didn't know if I was allowed to watch Prime Video with my free trial. I thought it had to be an official subscriber. But no, Amazon let me watch it. I watched all 3 back to back. Really good, really good. And I don't know whether Sunderland Till I Die was as good as this, but I really enjoyed the first 3 episodes. The behind the scenes look, it's edited really, really well, I must say. And it's great seeing a behind the scenes look because, you know, we talk about it a lot. You know, footballers at times can often be dehumanized. We see who they are on the pitch, we forget the human element. But I really was moved a little bit when Kieran Tierney was talking about his experience with mental health. It was discussed briefly by the medical team. I thought that was really fascinating as well. His name's Carlos. I think, is it Carlos Cuesta? He's Arsenal's individual development coach, or a role similar to that. I thought that was really fascinating and really, really cool. He seems to be like a player sort of rep, if you will. That's really cool. I want to look him up and see more about his role and what it entails. But I thought that was really, really cool. And again, a behind-the-scenes look, you know, Tierney talking about his mental health problems and how he lost a couple of friends to suicide. You know, it was really, really great. You know, Nuno Tavares settling in, moving on from Portugal to London at such a young age. Obviously, he's now gone out on loan for the new season, of course. But I thought it was great. I thought it was really, really good. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, and you do have Amazon Prime, I do recommend it. If you love football like I do, I'm sure you do, hence why you're watching my videos, you know. I recommend it. It's a really good behind-the-scenes look at what goes on with Arsenal. And I thought Mikel Arteta's style of man management before the game against Norwich, I thought it was lovely. You know, when he gave that speech pre-game talking about how his mood was like a 1 on a happiness scale, I think it was, 1 to 10. But before the Norwich game, after the big defeat to Man City, and now he talks about how his players are sort of lifting him up through training and so on. I thought it was great. I thought it was really, really good. And if you guys haven't watched it yet, a great behind-the-scenes look at what goes on with Arsenal, the passionate fan base they've got, of course, and the real human element to the club and the inner running of the club. It's great. It's worth a watch, and I definitely do recommend it. So, on the back of the win there against Reading in the last game there, on the back of the draw as well. Nice little streak, unbeaten in the Premier League, Crystal Palace right now. But this was it. First leg of the Europa League last 16. You saw their team. It's still fantastic. Andre Onana is still between the sticks. Lisandro Martinez is still there. Anthony is still there. It is still a brilliant Ajax team, no doubt about it. Dusan Tadic, their playmaker. Haller still up top as well. Gravenberch still through the middle as well. I knew this was going to be one of the toughest ties we could have had in Europa League. So heading into the game, I thought, right, I've got to be brave. I've got to be brave. Away at the Johan Cruyff Arena, a stadium I'm desperate to visit one day in the beautiful city of Amsterdam, I had to be brave. Heading into the game, we set the tempo early. We started putting on shots on Onana's goal, and 14 minutes in, we had the breakthrough. Just made a great double save a few minutes ago, but I stayed in attack mode, stayed brave, and I got my reward. And I've talked about it before. I really do recommend it when you're an underdog against a big team away from home. Don't conserve, don't contain, don't look to counter. Go and attack. You might get rewarded for it. We were 1-0 up, and if I'm being honest here, I should have been 2-0 up. Onana made a great double save before we went 1-0 up, and then soon afterwards, Zaha hit the post. It was still 1-0, but it was all Palace in the first half. We were creating so many chances, looking the better team, and getting good chances as well. Really good build-ups, really good chances. Unfortunately, the Cameroonian shot stopper Onana was just on one. Save after save, kept it at 1-0. We saw Zaha go down after an aerial duel as well, as we are still currently leading by 1, but I kept him on for at least the remainder of the first half, and right before the break, on the stroke of the 45-minute mark, Wilfried Zaha bends in a beauty, and Palace lead by 2 in Amsterdam. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The best player in this team, even if he's not our top scorer. I love him even on one leg. Bends one in, 18 yards. No chance for Onana this time. It is Ajax 0, Crystal Palace 2 at half-time. And we were absolutely dominating. And really, I'm not being arrogant. You saw by the highlights. I should have been 3 or 4-0 up. And 11 minutes after the restart, we were the former. Odds on Edouard rolled through. How was going to start the second half? Exactly the same mentality as the first. Just because I had a 2-goal lead, wasn't going to sit on it. Was going to look for more goals, and we got one. Yep, rolled through 1-1. Odds on Edouard makes it 3, and that would do it. Final score in Amsterdam, and I've got to say, probably my best performance of the save, this one. You know, obviously in the last episode you saw me have one of the worst performances of the save in that game against Spurs. This was probably my best win of the save. I have to say, I really, from the first whistle, I was on it in that game. I really was. And Now, like I alluded to a moment ago there, I really do feel that's what you got to do when you are the underdog in this year's FIFA. Go at the AI, like go at them seriously. I know that you might feel a little bit intimidated. You're taking on the team that's perceived as better as you, that have higher rated players. You might be away from them as well. Go at them, like seriously, go at them. Give it a go, like because the games are such goal gluts. You know that they're going to break you down. You know they're going to create chances. Well, presumably once or twice during a game. And as we know, the AI, they only need the one chance. That's all the AI need, man. They get one chance and they'll most likely score from it, no doubt about that. So just go at them, get an early goal or get some early shots on target, and you just never know. 3-0 the final score there, which meant for the following game, a week later, back at Selhurst Park here against Ajax, they needed a miracle if they were going to overcome the 3-0 deficit and make it through. 10 minutes in, they had one of the 3 they needed. Yep, worst possible start. I rested quite a few players this game. With Bournemouth on the weekend in the Premier League, desperate to stay in the top 4 right now. I thought, okay, all right, we're freeing it up. I'll pick some starters out there. You know, we had Guehi, centre half. We had Max Aarons. Dean, of course, was still between the sticks as well. We still had a strong lineup, but a few players got a night off for this game. I felt would be okay. And I'll be honest, I was really playing at a slow tempo in this game. I went at Ajax in the first leg and won 3-0, but in this game I just thought, you know what? We've got a 3-0 aggregate scoreline. Just play slowly. Play really, really slowly and look for the best possible chances. And we got it. Directly from kickoff. Reece Brown getting a nod in this game. A rare start for the man we signed the free transfer. Rolls through Max, one of my starters in this game. And he smacks in his first of the year to make it 1-1. And as soon as I got that leveller, that was it. Ajax got the early goal, and I thought, okay, all right, they might make a game of this tie, you know. As soon as we got the leveller, the stuffing just got knocked out of Ajax. They got a lifeline, and I took it away from them straight away. They snatched it, and I took it straight out of their hands. Yeah, 1-1, and then in the second half, Brecci makes it 2-1, and that was how the game would finish. So nothing like the game with the Johan Cruyff Arena, where I ran rampant and dominated, but same result. Crystal Palace beat Ajax back-to-back, and that is it. You see the stats here. Look at the possession. Look at the possession stat. I'm not even going to try and downplay it, man. All game long, I was just passing the ball around. Wasn't going to give them a sniff. And in the end, we get through 4-1 on aggregate. That's the scoreline. We are into the Europa League quarter-final. And in the very next episode, you'll see who we've been drawn against. Don't miss it. It's an interesting tie. But that will end today's episode of the Realistic Summer Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. Oh dear. Thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed it. I need a glass of water. Thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you had, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. And I will see you for the next episode, the Europa League quarter-final first leg. The draw for it as well. It's a great tie. And I'll see you for it very soon.